Hello and welcome to the Friday market update. Whew, that was a crazy week last week, but this week it's time to take a rest. So mortgage rates dipped back below 7%, landing at 6.87%. And that's just about a 0.25% above our low for the year. So not so bad. So let's be honest, being in the sixes just sounds a little bit better than being in the sevens. But here's the deal. Not much has actually changed. So what has shifted though is the fear factor driven by the media headlines warning of recession, housing crashes, job losses, inflation, everything going on. And when people feel like they're in danger, woo, they freeze. The what if starts swirling. What if I lose my job? What if inflation comes back? What if now isn't the right time to buy? What if I make the wrong decision? And suddenly the already anxious buyers get even more hesitant, all because of the mortgage payment. But here's the reality. We're still short 3.8 million homes, and this is according to Realtor.com's 2025 Housing Supply Gap Report. In the West, it could take 6.8 years to close that gap. 6.8 years, that's a long time. And that's if builders stay consistent. So that kind of shortage really supports the home values long term. And in fact, I'm relieved we haven't seen a huge drop in rates, because if we did, the pinup demand would rush back in and bidding wars would explode again. So I'm looking forward to actually a slow, steady decline. And I think that's way more healthy than a steep drop quickly. So the translation, home values are still going up, but at a moderate pace, which is actually good for the consumer. And there are real opportunities out there. And just this week, I saw 3 contracts come in with over $12,000 in seller paid closing costs. One of them had nearly $30,000 that was used for an interest rate buy down. Why? Because most buyers are sitting on the sidelines and the smart ones are out there negotiating because they know that the sellers are willing to negotiate at this time. We have seen inventory. It's up in many markets, including San Jose, up 67.9%. Our own Las Vegas, up 67.8%. And Denver up 67.3%. So inventory is up. Sellers are willing to make negotiations and get you a better price. But here's another trend to watch. New construction homes are continuing to go up. They're making up now 14.5% of all sales nationally, and that's up from just 6.7% in 2011, and it just continues to climb because of that gap, the shortage. And because builders know how to solve the buyer's biggest pain point, and the biggest pain point, monthly payment. They're not slashing prices. They're basically funding rate buy downs and closing costs. It's not always a better value for the buyer, but it sure feels better to the buyer. They're just packing in all these costs, providing a lower payment. So the buyer gets a sparkling new home. They get instant gratification. And yes, even with smaller homes, higher HOAs, rising construction costs, including an $11,000 more per home due to the upcoming tariffs, they're still moving the product because they're hitting that buyer pain point, which is mortgage payment. Now, listing agents, this is your opportunity to compete. You can sell it just like the builder by using our ultimate listing tool, which includes a reduced cost pre-appraisal, so you know how much money you have in order to negotiate and give that buyer those closing cost incentives, and we share on the cost of a 2-1 buy down. So let's talk about how to use this to win listings and attract serious buyers. So what's the easiest way to refer me? I get this all the time. Send me a group text with your client on it, and I will take it from there. We'll take great care of them and get them into a home this year. So wishing you a joyful Easter weekend, and we'll see you next week. This is Gaylord out.